Good morning, all. So now today I'm discussing about the continuation of the last topics. Already we are discussing what are the definitions of human resource management and what is the HRM process in previous class. So one simple definition is given by some other. So what is the human resource management exactly is simply. So each and every part. So human refers to the skilled workforce in an organization. So already I told you. So human is those who are having the skills in some work area, some work or some task. That people are only we are considering as a human resources. So human refers to the skilled workforce in an organization. So is a skilled workforce in organization. So resource means refers to limited availability or scarcity. So resource is always a limited availability. So not uh, available in a 100%. So resources are always limited. Okay. So in management, always we are assuming the resources are scarcity. Not only assumption, it is also fact also. Because the man is limited, money is limited, material is limited. So after regular usage of some time, automatically the material availability is also decreased. Suppose is there any natural calamities, some rains, heavy rains. Suppose if you are taking a cloth business, so the availability of the cotton is very important for cloth business because the cloth is completely dependent on cotton. So if there is no cotton, there is no cloths. Okay, so that's why it is dependent upon raw material, that is cotton. So in this way, the resources are always scarcity. So the humans also scarcity because people are there, but we required skilled people and knowledge people. So that is important point. Okay, the basic important thing is you are required a skilled people, a skilled workforce, and also knowledge people. Okay, that is important one, and experienced one, that is important. So that's why the what we have to require. So the required skills are not having all the humans. Okay, only some of the people are having the required skills. So that's why the humans are very limited. Okay, so that's why it is a scarcity. So then management, so refers how to optimize and make best use of such limited or scarcity resources. So the management is very important. So what we have to manage is we have to optimize the utilization, or we have to use the maximum utilization of such limited resources. Okay, so we have only limited resources, then you have to manage in a proper manner, then only we are success. And also you have to meet the requirements of the organization and meet the goals and objectives of the organization. Okay, so that is management. Okay, so then in this way we are understanding what is the human resource management exactly. Human means refers to the skilled workforce in an organization. Resource means refers to limited availability or scarcity. And management means refers how to optimize and make best use of such limited or scarce resource so as to meet the organization goals and objectives. Then after that, human resource development, HRD. So because there is a scarcity in the human resources, that's why you have to develop the human, and then only they become resources. So the human resource development is very important. This is generally this is done by government of India, not only government of India, any government. So every government must focus on human resource development. So then only the productivity of the country is increased, and the GDP is increased, and the national income is also increased. Okay, so these are the very important requirements for a developing country, or a developed country also. So these are very important. So the term human resource development consists of two words, that is human resource and development. Okay, there is two words, that is human resources and development. So first part, human resources. What is the meaning of human resources? See, who are considered to be the lifeblood of any organization. So that means for a human being, the blood is very important. So without blood, we are unable to live. So that's why that is very important. That is life. So lifeblood of any organization. Okay. So the human resources are always treated as a lifeblood for any organization, are the people and their characteristics at work either at the national level or organizational level. So they are working, people are working, the people and their characteristics at work, the characteristics of the people is how it is in the work either at a national level or organizational level. So it is a national level or organizational level, that is human resource. Okay. So next, development. So development means is the acquisition of capabilities that are needed to perform the present job or the future expected job. So development means acquisition of capabilities that are needed to perform the present job. So what are the requirements to do the present job? Then you have to acquisition of that capabilities or the future expected job. So is there any future requirements? That is also important. So the human resource development is the process of developing the human resource working in an organization by modernizing their knowledge and upgrading their skills, attitudes, and perceptions in order to meet out the changing trends of the globalized economy, and also to utilize those developments for the attainment of the organization goals. So it is a long one. So human resources development is a process of organization by modernizing their knowledge and upgrading their skills. The employees are modernizing their knowledge and also upgrading their skills. That means they are developing their skills and improve their skills and also attitudes and also perceptions in order to meet out the changing trends of the globalized economy. So what are the changes are occurred in the globalized economy? So they are adapting the changing trends and also meet out the changing trends. What the changes are occurred in the global economy, then they are adapting all these things and also utilize those developments for the attainment of the organization goals. So you have to use what they are required and what they are getting, what they are developed. Okay. So then the developments are used and utilized to attain the goals of the organization. So already organization goals are fixed. So then you have to attainment, that means you have to achieve that goals with the developments. Okay. What are the developments? So knowledge and upgrading their skills and attitudes and perceptions in order to meet out the changing trends. So these are the developments. These developments are used for to achieve the organization goals in a successful manner. Okay. Then after that, so these are the important things in the human resource development. So these are the main important things. So manpower planning. So under this, first one is where you have to start any one of them. So I am starting from manpower planning, recruitment and retention. This is the first step generally. So manpower planning, recruitment and retention, that means you have to plan what how many people are required for future requirements. That means how many recruitments, so that means how many vacancies are there in the organization. You have to collect the information from all the departments So how many people are required in the positions, in the different positions in the organization. Then you have to collect the data from all the departments. So that is manpower planning. So that is not for present and also future also. And recruitment and retention. And according to the vacancies, you have to issue the recruitment notification. And is there any retention? That means you have to remove the employees, excess employees. So now COVID situation, there is excess employment. So that's why the companies are also restricting their employees. Okay. So and next step is succession planning and talent management. So succession planning means next step. That means future planning and the talent management. So talent management is a different one. So talent management is nothing but we are having talented people. So how to manage them? That means how we are utilizing the talented people in an efficient manner. That is talent management. After that, human resource management. Third point is third thing is few policy and procedures. So for human resource management, there is a need of policy and procedures. So what is the policy of human resource management and what is the procedure of human resource management? That is different from organization to organization. So according to the organization policy and strategy, then you have to develop the human resources policy and procedures. And after that, performance management system PMS. This is very important aspect in the human resource management. Sorry, human resource development. So performance management, that means assessment of performance and evaluation of performance. And after that, you have to measure the performance. And after that, have to take the feedback of the employee depending upon your appraisal. So then you have to discuss what are the problems in the performance of the employee. So and how to improve their performance, or is there any training requirements? That means they are having lack of skills. That means they don't have that much knowledge in that particular work. Then there is a need of training. So you have to provide the training also. So then ultimately you have to improve the performance of the employee. So these are all comes under performance management system, that is simply called as PMS. And after that, important thing is job evaluation and grading. So this is also another important aspect in the human resource development. So job evaluation and grading, that means you have to evaluate the job. That means what is the specifications, what are the requirements, and what is the description, and what is the specification, what is the profile of the job. You have to evaluate all these things. And after that, you have to grading. That means depending upon the role of the employee, job role. So then you have to grading each and every employee. That means grade means group. So better performance, then average performance, and bad performance. You have to grade the employees in this way. So you have to follow your own system also. There is no strict conditioning. So that is job evaluation and grading. And after that, compensation and benefit program. So in the HRD, so you have to provide the better compensation to the employee. That means have to give a remuneration according to their work. Those who are hardworking, then you have to give more. And those who are not hardworking, then you have to give the less amount, means low salary. So that is compensation and benefit program. Then also you have to give some benefits. Those are working in a those who are having a better performance. So who are showing a better performance, the ultimately then they are motivated and they give more. Then they are giving better performance. Okay, so that is benefit program. So benefits are nothing but suppose for some of the companies offering foreign trips, and some of the companies are giving incentives, and some of the companies are giving some other benefits. So depending upon the company, so they are giving some benefits to the employees. So and then next one, employer brand communication and employee engagement. So employer brand communication, that means employer brand communication means, so employer means those are giving jobs that people are called as employer, generally management, so or organization. So employer brand communication. So employer is always maintaining good communication with the employees, and how they are engaged in their work, the employee engagement, that is very, very important. So these two are also important aspects in the human resource development. Okay, so employer brand communication, and after that employee engagement, how they are engaged in their works, we have to monitor that also. So these are all comes under human resource development. Okay, so next, then next one, personal management versus human resource management. So in general, both are used for substitutedly used. That means simultaneously. So both are generally similar manner, but only some of the differences are there. So that's why we have to discuss about these 4 points. So personal management function is often viewed as a function of the specialized staff. So it is a personal management is a function. It is related to a specialized staff function. Okay, it is treated as a specialized staff function. That means it is done by only specialized staff, so not for ordinary one. So and second, human resource, come to human resource management. So human resource management function is the responsibility of all the line managers in the organization. So it is the responsibility of all the line managers in the organization, because the accounts department there is a manager, so he manages all the employees in the department, and in a marketing department there is a manager and employees. So the total department is managed by marketing manager, and in the human resource management also department also there is some people, employees, and the human resource manager also monitoring their performance and working conditions. So that means working levels. So in this way, the line managers are having the responsibility of the human resource function, management function. So then second point, personal management goal is employee orientation. So personal management is generally what is the goal of the personal management is employee orientation. So they are completely focusing on employee orientation, and the human resource management goal is organization orientation. So the human resource management goal is the main organization. Human resource management goal is organization oriented. So it is purely based on organization orientation. So the goal is, then third point is personal management is a managerial function. So personal management is completely, it is a managerial function, and human resource management is operative function. So managerial function and operative function. Operative function is it is implemented in a daily or a regular basis in the organization. So that is in a operative mode. So then fourth one is personal management cooperative level manager concern. So personal management is always cooperative, and cooperative level managers concern, and human resource management is top level manager concern. So it is only related to human resource management, is purely related to top level management concern, and the personal management is a cooperative level manager. That means he is cooperative, so he cooperates everyone with everyone. So that is related to personal management. Okay, so in this way, these are the differences in between, major differences in between personal management and human resource management. Then after that, PMIR, it is shortly called as PMIR, personal management and industrial relations. So this is very simple thing. So PMIR, the word personal management is popular with different names such as staff management, labor management, manpower management, industrial relations, and modern times as human resources management. So personal management having the different names, it is called as so many names, called with so many names, that are staff management, labor management, manpower management, industrial relations, and modern times as human resources management. Now it is called as human resource management also. So in modern days, so industrial relations refers to the relation between the employees and management. So industrial relations is mainly focused on employee and employee management relations. What are the relations in between employee and management? So that is very, very important. Okay. So then features in personal management. What are the different features are there in the personal management? So first feature is personal management is concerned with managing people at all level in the organization. So personal management is always concerned with managing people at all levels in the organization. So at all levels in the organization, that means different levels: top level management, middle level management, bottom level management. So at all these levels, the personal management should manage all the people in different levels, the three levels in the organization, and it is concerned with employees both as individuals and as a group. So in the personal management, it is concerned with employees, uh, with individuals and also group. So individuals also there and the groups also there. So both are important, both are there in the personal management. So both are having concern in the personal management. And next one, it is a method of helping the employees to identify and develop their potential. So it helps to employees to identify and develop their potential. So how to develop their potential, that means how to improve their skills and knowledge and their potentiality, so and efficiency. This is very helpful. So personal management is very helpful for that purpose. And next one, characteristics of a personal management. So what are the characteristics of a personal management? So first one is maximum individual development. So personal management is mainly focusing on maximum individual development. So the principles stresses on the development of every person working in an organization. So the main thing is it should stresses on the development of every person working in an organization. So not only management, and also it pressures on every person within our working in our organization. So workers are able to fulfill the objectives of an organization with a minimum cost. So in economical way, we have to achieve, the workers are achieving the objectives of the organization. The employees in the organization should be properly developed. So and after that, the employees in the organization, they are properly developed, and by these employees will be able to develop themselves to the maximum extent of their capabilities. Then the employees are developed up to their capability, and also they are able to improve productivity and efficiency, can be used for achieving the objectives of the organization. So this is useful for achieving the objectives of the organization. Then second one, scientific selection. So second important thing is scientific selection. So for the proper coordination between work and workers, it is necessary to select the right person for the right job. So scientific selection, that is also important thing in the personal management. Why it is scientific selection is, so nowadays for in the recruitment process and selection process, they are not only considering the skills and knowledge, and also there is an importance of psychological and attitudes, psychological factors and attitudes of the employee and personality of the person. These are also very, very important. So they are considering these are also very, very important for the organization. Those are those who are working. So because the right person only becomes a right employee. Okay, so please keep it in a mind. When the person is right person, then only he will become a right employee. So because the conduct and personality and attitude of the employee is very, very important. You have to select a right person for a right job, then only will be success in the success in the business. So if you are choosing a wrong person, then ultimately it does not meet the requirements of the job, then ultimately you are getting problems, and also you are not reaching the targets what you have to fix. So ultimately it leads to a bigger problem in the organization. So that's why you have to select the right person for the right job. So workers should be selected after a careful weighing of the requirements of the jobs on the other hand, and assessment and evaluation of the abilities and attitudes of man on the other. So there is two important factors you have to analyze. So first one, what are the requirements of the job? So the basic things, the basic requirements of doing that job. And other hand, assessment and evaluation of personal things, that are abilities and attitudes and other things. So these are evaluated. So after that only you have to select the employees, new employees. Then next important thing is high moral. So high moral is also very important. So it is necessary to have high moral among the workers in an organization. So for this purpose, ideal wage policy should be offered in the organization. So then you are maintaining high moral when you are giving salaries in a moral way. So then only the employees are having high moral. Generally, already we are discussing so many times, depending upon the performance and depending upon their qualification or some things. So you have to give the appropriate salary, appropriate remuneration to that person. Then only he will be satisfied, and they are giving positive feedback. So they are felt fear positively. So then they are motivated. So for that purpose, there is a high moral is needed. So it is necessary to have high moral among the workers in an organization. So for this purpose, ideal wage policy. For that purpose, you have to maintain ideal wage policy. There is no partialities or some things. So those who are hard working, then you are giving more salary. Those who are average working, according to that, you have to give the salary. Low performance, then you are giving salary to that level. So workers should be motivated by monetary and non-monetary incentives. So monetary means money related, and non-monetary means some of the benefits, other benefits. So then only they are motivated, then they are giving better performance. And next one is dignity of labor. So dignity of labor is very important. So because, so what type of work you have to done, then you have to respect that work. That is very important. Okay. So suppose you have to take the example of some Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So he is a very poor one. Even he didn't have food for eating. So he faces so many struggles. And also in house there is no electricity. So he studied in a street lamp, beside of a street lamp. So in this way, he faces so many struggles. And after that, then he will become a great scientist in the world. So not only India and rest of the country, suppose in the world also, he is a famous one. He is a nuclear scientist and also satellites technology. So all we are felt poverty is a bad thing. So this is not suppose those who are poor people, they are not developed, and only those who are having money and they are only successful in their lives. So otherwise, without money and we are a poor people, so then ultimately we are not sustained in the life. So this is not a correct way. So poverty is not decides the knowledge of the person. Okay, it is different one. So if you are continuously gain the knowledge from the different sources, suppose you don't have the money, but you are learning so many things. Okay, So from environment, that means surroundings, from the surroundings, what they what are the things happening in the society, and also from others. You have to learn so many things. So you are getting knowledge from the reading books and listening something, lectures or something. So we are having so many options. Okay. So this is very, very important thing. So you have to feel proud of their work or labor. That means you don't see, suppose the manager didn't see the labor or a worker or a low class people. Okay. So they are also human beings, and they are also doing work. So because they don't have education qualifications much more, because but they are having the skill to do that work. Okay, that is important thing. Sometimes like work is worship, notion should be developed it workers, in workers. That is very, very important. I always have to try to said work is worship. సో అంటే దాన్ని మనం ఏమంటామంటే పనినే దైవంగా భావించి చేయటం. సో యూ హ్యావ్ టు డెవలప్ దట్ నోషన్ ఇన్ వర్కర్స్. సో then only they feel the work is very, very important things. So they respect their work, what they are doing. So this principle requires treating every job and every job holder with dignity and respect. So with this we have achieved, and each and every person will felt they are having dignity, and also they are having respect in others. Okay. So that is dignity of labor. That means what you have to do, you don't feel shy. Okay. So without any illegality, so except illegal things, then you have to do anything, there is no problem at all. Only illegal things that they are mentioned in the constitution and law, then you have to follow the good one. Okay. So ultimately you are getting dignity and respect in your job. Then after that, team spirit. Team spirit is also very, very important. So team spirit must be developed in the workers. They should work collectively and they should feel collective responsibility for the attainment of the objectives of the organization. Okay, those are team spirit is developed in the workers. So you have to develop the team spirit in the workers, and also they should work collectively and they should feel collective responsibility for the attainment of the objectives of the organization. Then only they feel collectively work for how to achieve the objectives of the organization. So and collective responsibility, that is also important. So without collective responsibility we are unable to do anything. So for this purpose, workers must have the sense of cooperation, utility and mutual trust. So for that purpose, all of the people are maintaining so for that purpose, workers must have the sense of cooperation, unity and mutual trust. Okay. Then effective communication, this is also very, very important. So within the organization there is a proper communication channel. So from top level management to middle level management, the communication is there is a good communication between both of them, and also middle level management to bottom level management. So with in between these two people also, there is a need of communication, proper communication. So what the instruction given by the top management, that should be identified and recorded by the middle level managers, and they are send the instructions, commands of the top level management, that is completely reached to simply reached to so last level, that means bottom level. So that is very, very important. So if communication system is not effective, then there will arise complex problem like mistrust. So if there is a there is no proper communication, that will arise complex problem like mistrust. And So lack of accountability and lack of responsibility and lack of loyalty. So hatred and ill will, and this in turn affects the production of the organization, and also it shows impact on the production of the organization. Okay, so today I stopped over here.